guys, and welcome to today's video in which I'll be running you through the best woody perfumes ever, and I can't believe I haven't done that already. So today I decided to break it down into the different woody notes, and we are gonna get started with something light and work our way into the deepest one. So let me know what's your favorite woody note down below in the comment section, and in the description box you'll find more information. So please check it out, and if you enjoy watching this episode, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up, as well as feel free to subscribe to my channel, and once you're done with that, we can get started with something light and transparent as bamboo, which is not really about the woodiness but more about watery green transparency. Perfumers create bamboo air effect using ozonic molecules like green aldehydes or transparent musks, and I have a great fragrance featuring note of bamboo, which is Aurora par Charles Wong, and it smells clean, airy, sappy, very fresh. And if you like watery fragrances and you would like it to be a little bit green, this is a great option because it's in that 90s minimalistic style and it wears very effortlessly with its crisp and breathable freshness. I think it's gonna be great for, you know, just casual wear when you want something that will give you that very nice fresh laundry effect in Asian style. With that being said, let's talk about another Asian woody note of hinoki, and it's actually that Japanese cypress note that is used in fragrances for calmness and clarity. It got a little bit of a lemon woody signature to it, and this fragrance Live in Colors, just look at this stunning bottle, uses hinoki like bright architectural lines, so it's very crisp and citrusy, especially in the opening, extremely aromatic but controlled. So citrus touch in here is very energizing. It's modern but a little bit sappy, okay, and the woodiness in here is polished. You can't really detect it. It's on the green, you know, just a fresh aromatic side, and it's perfect for those who would like perfume that wouldn't be sweet nor dark. You want just very clean, citrusy, a very positive freshness with green woodiness in the background. With that being said, let's talk about green woods more, and now it's time for Fig Tree, which is kind of like a hybrid note because it combines leaves, so the green part, with the bark, the woods, and even sap, so that milkiness. And so one of those woody and even like fruity lactonic notes that smells very exciting and interesting. Let me know if you've ever tried it in perfumery, and if you need a great recommendation, that would be Adam and Eve's Dress, such a cool name for a fragrance with a very bold note of fig by Lorenzo Pazzalia, who is very creative and artistic. And this fragrance is kind of like all about fig maximalism, because in here you'll get that green vibe. It is mixed with savory, leafiness and that milky sweetness. It's very interesting, a little bit polarizing, complex, super exciting. I love wearing it in the springtime when everything starts to bloom. It got a little bit of a milky, edible touch, so that savory effect is a little bit contrasting, but at the same time it's exciting for sure. So if you're looking for a persistent fragrance and maybe you're interested in Fig Tree, then I would highly recommend you this one, because it's kind of like fig sap drying on warm skin. Please tell me if you are into the note of a fig fruit or fig leaf or a fig tree, but this fragrance combines it all. Now let's go on vacation somewhere to the English seaside and talk about driftwood. Now it's more conceptual. It's kind of like salted wood baked by sun with marine accord. Often gray ambery molecules are used to recreate that vibe. And Salt Rose by 4160 Tuesdays is actually that very interesting fragrance where rose is actually airy. Sometimes it reminds me of vetiver, of something rooty, okay? So it's wild. and you'll definitely get that very realistic seaside experience rather than sunscreen fantasy. So if you want wind and saltiness with the scent of wood that is, you know, washed by the sea, that's it. And it is also quite strong, definitely a unique take on the note of rose. Speaking of which, now let's move to rosewood, which gives this soft rosy lift to the woodsiness, and you really need to think about as a floral wood. It's kind of like a blender for that polished, slightly, I would say, sweet effect with satin texture, and it's quite classy in perfumery. It has been used for ages, and one of the best perfumes with it would be Honey Mori, where rosewood is actually used to build that recognizable warm fruity signature. My gosh, this is addictive. This is so good. I would highly recommend you to check it out. Don't sleep on this fragrance with signature vibe, because the woodiness in here pulls together berries, flowers, and it smells a little bit sweet, but you know, like powdery, super smooth with this plush base. It's gentle. It is a little bit more feminine and quietly sensual. I personally love it. Let me know what's your favorite rosewood. Another great one is from Gourmand. But we are moving on to the note of teak wood that I personally don't have much experience with. So if you have any recommendations, please feel free to share them in the commentary section. However, I have a few fragrances with this note, and the one I wanted to feature in today's video is Telegramma by Imaginary Authors, which is one of my most favorite brands because they are so artistic, creative, and you know, teak is used to create actually dry and even slightly oily, freshly sawn wood effect. It's more serious, it's structured, and Telegramma makes teak feel soft and nostalgic, almost like wooden drawers dusted with talc, which is a big note in here, but it's also quite clean, a little bit powdery but calm, not loud at all. There is actually this note of lavender absolute in here, so I think it's gonna be appealing to many people. It's even a little bit minimalistic, so you can easily wear it to more formal occasions. That being said, let's move on to cashmere wood. Oh, and it's all about texture. Powdery, musky, woody, velvety. It is about soft fabric, not a forest. And I have a lot of cashmere perfumes, but today I wanted to talk about a Barrier because it is more woody than the rest, yet it wraps you in the cloud of luxurious softness. I love the pop of pink pepper in the opening. It's just so awakening to your senses, and woods in here, they feel brushed, okay? They are polished, they are so light. Musk is very clean in here. Overall, it's on the cool aromatic side, and everything in here is just perfectly luxurious. It wears like your second skin but better, and this brand got very high quality perfume, so it projects well. It smells classy, super well balanced. If you're looking for just like a very elegant fragrance for the daily wear, that would be it. But speaking about that style, now let's talk about sandalwood, which in my opinion is kind of like the king of all woody notes. Let me know if you agree, but it's one of my favorites, and I've already shared with you my top recommendations with strong note of sandalwood in another video. Please check it out for more recommendations. But if I need to give you like the most universal, very high quality fragrance that you can wear anywhere, anytime, that would be Santal du Pacific by Paris Monte Carlo. Now, a few words about sandalwood. It adds smoothness to fragrances. It makes them really round, brings in longevity, sometimes even like spiritual warmth. And it can be buttery, it can be creamy, milky. It's all about this texture. It can be also aromatic. And in this fragrance, you'll get sandalwood that is properly done because it's rich, it's creamy, it's a little bit meditative, and at the same time, you smell well put together with this very everyday time friendly fragrance that is a no-brainer. So it projects well. If you need a great sandalwood perfume, I would say go with it. And with that being said, let's talk about the note of pine needles. Now, they give fresh green, but also like this resinous snap effect. And I'm not the biggest fan of such fragrances, to be honest with you. I'm not into overly green perfumes. I don't like camphor style, but this fragrance, Gypsy Water by Mojito, is a bestseller for a reason. It has been in my collection for a long time and I just love it because, yeah, pine needles, they bring something aromatic, something really bright and crisp, but it is really well balanced with some powdery vanilla, mysterious incense, just a little sprinkle of lemon juice, and it is extremely wearable, daytime friendly, clean, whimsical type of fragrance that you can't go wrong with. And pine needles don't give you that Christmas tree effect. They are more aromatic, modern and fresh. So let me know if you're familiar with the Gypsy Water because it's pretty well known. And we are gonna get deeper into the next note, which is technically not woody, but I still want to talk about moss because it can be earthy, it can be dry, and it always makes perfume smell elegant, giving them shipper effect. By the way, if you like this genre, then you need to check out one of my other videos in which I shared with you my most favorite shipper style fragrances, and I'm thinking about creating a whole episode dedicated to the note of moss in perfumery. And one of my personal favorites is this Cardamom and Moss by Experimental Perfume Club because, well, it's a well-balanced fragrance. It's not your typical mossy perfume, so it doesn't smell of a forest floor, yet it got that green old bark effect because there is a lot of moss in here, but it is well balanced by my favorite spice, cardamom, which is so luxurious. My gosh, I love it in food, in perfumery. It just elevates every composition. And there's also a little bit of sweetness, so that caramel brings in some delicious note that just makes moss smell more wearable, more interesting, and it's perfect for outdoorsy activities because it's very atmospheric, kind of stylish. You can spray on your outerwear and layers well with other perfumes, so it's actually very useful to have it in your collection. Now, next up is actually the note of oak, and this material is amazing. One of my favorite woodsy notes for sure because it can be slightly boozy but also woody, rich, and probably you might think of Angel Share as oak forward fragrance, but I want to recommend you something a little bit more approachable like Barenia by Hermes, which is not necessarily very feminine in my personal opinion. It's rather unisex and it is very polished. Oak in here is amazing because it is lifted by fruits. There is just a very slight light boozy nuance in here, and it is not over the top. It is actually very grown up smelling, elegant, so you can wear it to formal occasions. It is office appropriate, and there is an intense version that is even more oak wood forward. So I recommend you that if you want more oak moss, and this if you want something more versatile that you can wear anytime, anywhere, because yeah, that perfume is really good with nice longevity. I have no complaints about it. I want more people to know about it. Let's talk about something a little bit more unusual like olive tree. Have you ever tried a fragrance with this note? I don't think so because it's not that common, but I have this perfume Un Jardin, oh my gosh, I won't even try to pronounce its name, but it's another one from Hermes, and I really wanted to put it in your radar because, wow, this is so good. Oh, it's addictive. When I smell it, I want to breathe it in more and more, and that's because it always makes me feel like standing in the field of olive trees. It got that Mediterranean vibe for sure. I like citruses in there. They are different than in all other fragrances, maybe because it's twisted by pistachio, I'm not sure, but the effect is so luminous. It's breezy, it's very sophisticated. I totally love it, and believe it or not, but you will smell a little bit of that woodiness that is very light, that you might be not aware of, but it's there and it's part of this magic. And this fragrance wears nicely when it's hot outside because of the crispness and brightness. It's a very nice perfume that is not heavy and actually quite addictive. Let me know if you're familiar with it and what do you think of it. And we are gonna get deeper now and talk about the note of papyrus, guys. Now, it is actually something very interesting, something a little bit more fantasy-like. Papyrus is dry, obviously papery, with a green woody note and faint leathery effect. The best perfume with it that I found is by Une Nuit Nomade, Silver Saffron Extrait. Now the quality is just exceptional of this entire collection, and I was so amazed by this fragrance because it's actually more about saffron, which is not my favorite note, and that's because often it's more leathery, and I love that in here it is you know, brightened by raspberry. It just pops in there and it makes the saffron glow. It's not too dry, and Papyrus goes well with iris because it's another rather dry note, but papyrus is more dusty with a vegetal vibe, and iris is more floral, so it smells very, very elegant and expensive. It smells not necessarily like a dark fragrance, but it smells like something niche and, you know, very luxurious, very glamorous. So it's a very stylish fragrance that is extremely wearable. Oh my gosh, I wear it to probably all different occasions. Running errands, teaching classes, working. That's a good fragrance that you can't go wrong with. And something very, very particular from the same collection with a note of birch is Estrella de la Mañana. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced its name, but guys, this is not your casual woody perfume. No, you need to love birch, which is something that might not appeal to everybody, because everything I've smelled with it was a lot rather like burnt and smoky. Let me know if you agree and have more experience with it. And in here it is kind of like in company with cacao, which makes sense because it's another a little bit bitter note, but it got some smoothness and sweetness, and they're so well balanced, extremely atmospheric right now when it's cold outside. Spray it on your outerwear, it stays on forever. The quality is so good, and yeah, it's a very, very special, interesting perfume for those who like more creative and unusual fragrances. But now let me tell you about my going out special occasion signature, really popular guidance by Amouage that is heavy on Akigala wood. Are you familiar with it? Have you ever heard about this synthetic note that got patchouli DNA? Well, it can be sharp, can be peppery, and there's definitely texture. So Guidance takes Akigala wood and wraps it into creamy flowers, some powdery notes, but that woodiness, it is a little bit oily, kind of like dirty. I like that, especially as it dries down, it becomes more refined, super long lasting. I mean, like, it has gone viral for a reason. Let me know if you're a fan of this perfume. I've already recommended you some alternatives to this fragrance, but it's very confident. That's why I wear it on special occasions, because it performs well and it stays put. But since we've touched on patchouli, now I find that it fits in today's video perfectly. Technically, it's actually a plant. It can be earthy, it can be chocolatey, but in my opinion, it brings in something so expensive to perfumes and makes it smell luxurious like nothing else. And I have a lot of favorite patchouli fragrances in my collection, but if I need to recommend you something extremely universal, that would be Behold Patchouli by Gallica Fragrances, because it's kind of like that gourmand ambery patchouli that is done so well, and in the opening you'll get pop of orange soda. It is fizzy, and then it is just so rich in the dry down edible patchouli. Smells extremely addictive, gorgeous. There is note of honey, musk, frankincense, chocolate. This is a no-brainer patchouli that smells extremely rich, expensive, not too dark yet, you know, it got some power to it and like a very bold character. So let me know what's your favorite patchouli. And we are gonna talk about probably the most recognizable woody material. Can you guess what it is? I think cedar is probably the most used woody note in perfumery, and it's clean, it's dry, and because it smells of pencil shavings, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I absolutely adore Electric Wood Extrait by Room 1015, because guys, this is so nice, smelling like open guitar case that is sitting next to gingerbread cookies. It is very, very well received fragrance, as especially in you know, like among my friends. They bought it because of me. It is a compliment getter. It performs amazingly in the cold weather. Cedar in here is mixed with woody vanilla, which I enjoy a lot. There is a little bit of oak moss, so I think think this is a really nice fragrance for those who are looking for a modern vanilla woody perfumes. It's a really, really good one. But now let's actually move on to something a little bit less used in perfumery, because it's a very particular note of Palo Santo, which got this a little bit incense-like, woody, ritualistic undertone that smells of clean smoke, of sweet resin, and got that meditative warmth to it. Is used for different, you know, rituals, and this perfume Abim captures Palo Santo's spiritual side perfectly, because it is a little bit smoky but not heavy, what I really adore about it. Atmospheric without being gothic or dark or scary. It is actually a little bit bitter, and it is so elegant if you spray it on your clothing and going somewhere. It just smells really refined. It's for those who don't like dry or overly, you know, like sweet or balsamic fragrances. You don't want to smell green or citrusy. You want like this very intimate experience. You want perfume that will smell grounding, and it got that calming effect. Plus it's long lasting. So yeah, I really like it. It's a meditative wood for me personally. And next we are gonna talk about something dense, balsamic and delicious, such as Gaiac wood. And it always smells like toasted, balsamic, cozy sweetness. And By the Fireplace by Maison Violet is practically a genre-defining Gaiac fragrance. It's so well known, and I totally love it for the note of chestnuts, for smoky woodsiness, for this vanilla that melts into warm, cuddly hug that is perfect for winter time, because, you know, it is awesome for the days when you wanna feel cozy. It's a compliment getter. Let me know if you wear it, if you have it. And finally, last but not least, if you are asking where is oud, well, here it is. I saved it for last because oud is kind of like the king of all woods, and it can smell so differently depending on the origin. There are more fresh woods that smell even green, definitely aromatic, but there are darker types of oud. It's a very complex material, a little bit resinous, sometimes sweet, sometimes even animalic. And I have a lot of woody perfumes, and I'm working on another top list featuring some of them. But let me know what's your favorite oud dominant perfume. I would really love to know. And if I need to recommend you an oud masterpiece, that would be Ludo by Sarah Baker, created by Chris Morris. Now, this fragrance is perfection. It's very luxurious, very modern type of oud that is fresh and bright in the opening. There is cherry, there are some herbs in there, and it's amazing. But then it turns more floral. I totally love that. And Laos oud is probably my favorite type of this woody note, because it's a little bit animalic, but in here it's so sensual, warm, and the dry down, even on the second and third day, you won't believe it, but it just clinges to your clothing, and it stays put and it evolves. So it's something very special. If you are into oud, then I think you really need to check it out. But just in case I missed your favorite woody note, please request it in the comment section and I'll give you a recommendation. I am looking forward to your feedback. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. So make sure to give it a huge thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, check out the description box, and feel free to shop perfumes with my discount. That's very helpful for me personally. Follow me on social media and stay tuned, smell good. We'll see you on this one really soon. Bye guys.